Hey peeps, this is Kizu. Thanks to Snow for sponsoring this video. As you might have noticed once again, I have not had a PTB deep dive covering the most recent Dead by Daylight PTB. For the longest time, PTB deep dives were a staple on my channel, and come hell or high water, I made videos on them. And the only time I missed one, until the Walking Dead chapter, was because I literally didn't have a computer, and I still put out some videos besides that. However, after attempting to make one genuinely on this PTB, I give up. I give up on the Dead by Daylight as a whole, frankly, in a sense. For the longest time, I was of a belief that while BHVR are incompetent, they might be a bit greedy, there are good people who understand the game and who make good changes. Future of the game. And I thought, with continuous criticism and pointing things in the right direction, I could see that this game would eventually improve. Instead, here I am staring down phase 40 billion of the quality of life initiative. I'm finding that most of the quality of life features added by this quality of life initiative has actually reduced my quality of life while playing the game. And I'm also staring down the most recent PTB, 9.20. They've added ludicrous anti-tunnel anti-slugging systems that are overly complicated and poorly thought out. They've added an anti-tunnel system that punishes the killer for existing, but rewards survivor for doing nothing and honestly doing the most unfun things in the game. They also didn't think it through at all with certain killers. They didn't think it through with basic perks. Like, for example, any perk that notifies you upon a hook still notifies you, even though it's hidden, and perks like Reassurance or Camaraderie are way more effective because you don't even know if they're in play. It's frankly insanely ludicrous. It's an overcomplicated design that once again has hit behavior, and they're like, yeah, seems good, let's ship it. They shipped it, and they're like, I know this is a public test build, but this has been a trend for a while now, where behavior have put out things on the public test build after years of work, and all of it just gets scrapped. The finisher Mori scrapped entirely. All of that was garbage, and it was. The Twins rework, absolute garbage, got scrapped. Blight Adams got scrapped so many times because they changed them into ludicrous bullshit. This, another huge system, also scrapped because it's ludicrous bullshit. And at the end of the day, I am just left there wondering, is there anyone who has a shred of idea what this game should be? And I'm not even saying how this game is played, because, okay, yes, we don't, but I am talking from straightforwardly a game design perspective. Straightforwardly a game design perspective. It doesn't make sense the way they make these systems. These systems are tacked on. They are odd. They're not intuitive. They don't develop simple solutions. They don't adjust perks. Even adjusting perks, when they say they adjust perks, with the slugging reduction, for example, I thought, okay, this means that with the introduction of this base kit system, they're going to nerf a bunch of anti-slugging perks. They're going to change this whole thing around. No, what they did is they changed a few survivor perks minorly. They buffed a plot twist, which is arguably one of the best perks in the game, and then it really abuses this new anti-slug system and forces the killers to slug quite often in certain scenarios, and they nerfed all of the killer slugging perks. So I am left wondering, what the fuck did you mean by this? What the fuck did you mean by all of that? Because it is not that there is a idea that was there. There is a complete disconnect between the idea and the things actually happening in practice. There is a disconnect between slowing down the content pace and focusing on quality of life, and then not only rushing out the content, but also rushing out the quality of life. This PTB has had a little extra delay of polish, and then we rushed out even more shit on it. And it's very similar to 610, where there are so many changes in this PTB that are so poorly thought out that you can't possibly test them all. And then we are left with, this is status quo now. And I guess, okay, because of the amount of community outrage, they went back and they scrapped this system for this iteration. But what the fuck is the point? You're going to bring it back next time, it's still going to be awful? Or are you going to just force it sit down everyone's throats? And then there's the new killer, which I think is going to be very similar to Kaneki because she's in the same spot of like she's kind of frustrating to play right now, but like give her a few buffs and she'll be really, really oppressive. But on the PTB, she is like quite kind of laughably weak, and behavior have painted her with the base get buffs on the same tier as Nurse and S tier killers, which makes no fucking sense to me whatsoever. I'll be for real with you, shit. So I wanted to cover this. I wanted to earnestly look at this. I wanted to earnestly believe in this because I was like, I saw the killer and I was like, wow, that is genuinely probably my favorite killer design in terms of visuals, in terms of aesthetics, in terms of the concept, the idea. That is the fucking my favorite killer of all time. I think the best one you ever put out. I really wanted to come into this PDB liking it. I looked through the tab, they kind of excited because I thought it was interesting, it was bold, but and every step of the way I was like, surely they can't mean this dumb bullshit. Surely they would have thought of that. And every turn, every opportunity, behavior said no. No, we haven't thought about that. I logged into the PTB to find that I needed to manually unlock all the characters. I needed to manually go to each character so they would show up correctly with Prestige 3. I couldn't unlock all of them, and then some of the characters were just plainly fucking locked behind the tutorial, but then they just magically went away. And what if I didn't have the Hellraiser DLC? Does that mean I couldn't have tested Pinhead and known that he was completely obliterated by the Killer Instinct elusiveness changes? Does that mean they haven't thought of that? No, they haven't. You know what they have thought of course, though? Is like how to increase the grind, how to increase the monetization, how to make sure that the players are logging in every day, how to make this game as predatory on you as possible, while still appearing like the good guys. That's what they think about. Do they think about the fact they they could have used simple plugins in Unreal Engine that are very straightforward to implement to have a modern version of XCSS, or to actually implement at least some kind of version of FSR? Because you know FSR, they added like the upscaler thing. It's not actually in the game. They didn't implement the spatial upscaler part of it. It's just sharpening a filter. So if you thought they actually implemented the simplest thing in the world, no, they didn't. If you thought we could get some basic settings, no, they didn't. If you thought maybe Easy Anti-Cheat is actually the paid version that they pay for and not the stock version that comes with Unreal Engine for free, you would also be wrong. If you thought that they would actually deliver on their promise to focus on quality of life, you're also wrong. If you thought they would have some standards, you would also be wrong. If you thought they wouldn't knowingly release rushed content that is nowhere near ship ready, you would also be wrong. So I'm coming into this PTB after all of those negative experiences, and what I find is just the most abysmal piece of dog shit. And I am not a killer favorite person by any means. I think killer, the fun in playing killer is in it being difficult, in it being a difficult 1v4 underdog story. I think that's cool as shit. But I just looked at them and I was like, this is obtuse, this is dumb, this just doesn't make it fun at all. Like, it's not even a balancing thing. This is just, I need to keep track of all of this garbage. I need to like, it was bad on a basic level, and it wasn't fun for survivors either. And none of the real survivor perks got adjusted. They slap things on without any care or thought. They have no idea how things interact. They buffed Ruin slightly to 50% more, but on the same patch, you're going to be missing out the base kit incentives from spreading hooks. So Ruin is still nerfed versus what it once was. And it's still bad, and then they nerf pain resonance. Like, okay, we get it. You want the people to pick other perks, but the reason they don't pick other perks is because pain resonance is just so ubiquitous. It's so much easier than anything else. The other perks don't really compete, but you just nerf pain resonance, and you don't actually implement anything that would make the gameplay experience more interactive. But it's just, there's nothing. There's nothing there. I keep trying to pull threads apart, like trying to see a system that is fine, trying to see something that is good. I look at the killer and I'm like, wow, this is another really complicated design where literally you could look through the entirety of a power description and you will know about 90% of the mechanics that are completely integral to playing the killer and that I know is currently clunky as fuck right now, but it's going to get buffed in the live release, and then there's going to be eventually a Survivor hate wave, and there's going to be eventual nerfs because you can't design a killer that is fun for Survivor for life of you unless it's also miserable for the killer. And most of the time, you end up being a miserable killer and a miserable survivor all at the same time because behavior are just like that now. But they need to make another new killer. They need to. So, yay for the inconsequential, barely at all delay on this chapter. It allowed it to get, I guess, zero extra polish because the add-ons are garbage, the power ID is ass, the only good part is the aesthetics and the visual, which we know they've had planned for a while and is an entirely different department. All of the gameplay changes in this patch are pretty much ass and garbage, and fundamentally has issues with not just even like the idea. Honestly, no, yeah, with the ideas, with the core ideas of how you approach things, with the core philosophy of any changes implemented into the game. Anything. So I don't know. I genuinely, I want to make content in this game. This is one of my favorite games of all time. I've invested almost 6,000 hours into this game. I fucking love this game to death. It is one of the few games that I got really into and really good at. Really fucking good. But what I'm left with is that I have nothing I can put my faith into. When there is a new change announced for anything in the game, I'm gonna be like, fuck. It's going to be bad, isn't it? And it is. 9 times out of 10. And the only part of Dead by Daylight I can ever find reliable is if the release is going to be buggy, and they're going to add some new feature that will either monetize me or encourage me to log on daily or some kind of other like scummy player retention thing. And then they'll have a limited time game mode that they'll also shitify and have no ambition with, like 2v8. Yes, play while you wait. Because we can't make Survivor fun, so we're just gonna make you queue for Survivor, which actually worsens the queue situation overall, because unless you want to play Survivor, it doesn't improve things at all, and instead actually it encourages more people to play Killer, and everything is worse. There is nothing good I can say. And I don't know how I can make videos. I don't know. For a while now, I've turned away saying, okay, this is terrible but salvageable. This is kind of mad, but here's what you can do to improve it. And these are the few things that are good, and these are the things I like, and this is my overall scoring of the new things added to DBD. Now, what the fuck do I do now? I don't know. I genuinely try to put effort into making genuine, high-octane, interesting, innovative, and descriptive content that will provide a fresh analysis, that will provide a fresh perspective, that will inform you as a player about the ongoing things in the game. But fuck me, I don't have it in me. I don't have it in me to just sit and see that behavior is just shooting themselves in the dick with a fucking 12 gauge every single fucking time. In the meantime, they'll ask you for labor of love and more of your money. And maybe the players won't give labor of love, but they sure will give them money. Because, oh my god, is that new Sable skin? Or oh my god, is that new Lara Croft skin? Oh my god, those are pretty. And I'm left just wondering what the fuck is the point of anything. So, thank you, the Snows, that just supporting me on Patreon. If you have any suggestions of what content you want to see, because I'm not sure I have it in me for game design analysis of DBD anymore. I'm not sure I have it in me. Like, if it's going to be continuously this bad. If you have interesting ideas that you would like to see explored, if you would like to hear, I don't know, your ideas for the game reviewed, I would like that. And if you'd like to see more streams, well, tell me that as well, and maybe I'll start doing more of them. But in the meantime, I guess I'm just going to look to just genuinely other games. And it's definitely not going to be other ASIMs, because I know Good Interactive, I know the other developers, And I know that game is going to be garbage, the new Michael Myers game. Let's be for real. It's going to be terrible. Payday 3 is looking like it's going to have a good time, so I'm going to get back to uploading on my main channel. And we'll see how all of this goes. And, yeah. Until then, peeps. I bet you love you.
Well, would you look at that? A fun killer design. I'm sure the HBR would change it down the line. This is an update of the lowest percentile. Get anyone on the map, team. Tell me what the fuck is this tile? Once again, a change by us all unrequested. This did not turn out how a dev note suggested. Anyone involved in this design should be arrested. Here's the deep dive. I'm losing my shit! In what world is that a fucking hit? Alright, no, that's it. I quit!